Everyone knows we about it.
Hi guys, this is Futureonics here, and today's video I would like to demonstrate some of the top features of iOS 11 running on an iPhone 7 Plus, although everything equally applies to the iPhone 7 and even the lower models. So let's dive in and find out what's going on, and after you watch the video, go ahead, drop comments down below on how you feel about whether this update, if you are an iPhone user or an Android user. Alright, so the first thing is I want to just talk about the new control center, which have been redesigned. So let's pull it up from the bottom and see what we get. So that's the new thing that we have going on now. Normally, knowing iOS 10, you had 3 different screens that you would swipe over to each on one of them. In this new version, iOS 11, what they did, they consolidated everything together so that you got to quick toggles here where you can your brightness sliders, your volume slider, and you got the volume music player at the top, and then you got all these other things that you could usually have on the control center on separate screens all together in one place. They have even put a small icon at the bottom here for the home kit. Now if you have a 3D touch enabled in your iPhone, you can perform 3D touch onto any one of these buttons so that even more functionality. For an example, the home kit button that allows you to control the lights and the music and the doors in your house. You can press it and hold it, expands into a larger menu, and from here I can turn on the living room lights or turn them off. Whether right, the same thing with the brightness slider. So if I tap it on this, the brightness slider expands and I can actually control this much easily. From the slide again, the same thing with the volume controller. Same thing that the flashlight, also the flashlight levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and actually probably do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 4, 3, 2, 1. Flashlight can be controlled from here and you get the clock on. So the timer on this, you can set the timer from 3 to 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then just click start. If you do that, it will show the timer on the screen. And let's go back, that's actually in calculator application. Now if this, you can launch it, you can copy the last result. You now have the camera on your tab. There you can take selfies, record a video, or take a slow motion, or take a full tray. But these things are already there in iOS 10. They are not as refined as they are now. Things like this is everything is one screen, so you can also press and hold on anything to get more functionality out of this buttons. So again, if I go back into the control center, if I'm actually playing some kind of music, I can pause it and I can play. I can go back to the next track, or I can just hold or perform a 3D touch so that it expands, and I can actually view the volume track somehow in the music, and I can see the album part, and I can also tap this button here, which allows me to screen my music connected to Apple TV devices or perhaps other Bluetooth speakers. So all these options are available, just been redesigned, and actually I do like this new design. And the other thing which I talk about is to pull down the notification panel. Today the screen is actually shows you music controller if there's something you're actually doing right now. Let me stop this music playing and do one thing. Let me exit actually the music application, and let me pull this up again. Now as you can see, it looks just like the lock screen. This is the current notification which I just got 5 minutes ago. If I want to see all the other notifications, they are actually nearly hidden. So I have to do this, pull it up a little bit, and they all show up as you see. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, now I go over and slide. I have all my access to widgets and remove them recently. But if I do want, I can add widgets, which here you can see. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, down. It's actually great. It looks like actual lock screen. So if I just locked the screen and get the same experience, now if I want to see the notification, I just swipe it up again. This is it's actually new version of iOS 11, so things are probably going to change, but so far this is what we have for the control center. And today's screen and this course and slide adjustments over the interface, and it looks almost like iOS 10. outside, when you are trying to unlock your phone, for example, let's back here and swipe up. Okay, let's try getting to iPhone now. You can see the lock screen where you put your password. It looks a little bit different. It looks a little bit translucent than the previous. Okay, so they have this made modified, and these things are going to just change even more until they are fully refined, which you can see some changes which are going to have the interface even when you look, so that it's actually different. One more thing that you have, it's ability to enable one-handed mode for the keyboard. So basically, when you go to a text message, here the text message actually is waiting, and let's see, for iOS 7 Plus was larger than iOS 7. Sometimes it is hard to operate this with one hand using your thumb to type to the keyboard, and whether it's your left-handed or your right-handed doesn't matter. You can actually change the size of the keyboard. What you just want to do is see a little word icon. You just tap and bring up a new menu. The bottom you actually have a left justification of the keyboard, which makes the keyboard more compact so that you can reach the whole thing with just your thumb if you're holding the iPhone with one hand. And of course, we're going to flip it over to the other side and just press it, hold, tap. You're going to just right justified. Everything is on your right, as you can bring it on your middle also if you want a regular keyboard. Not too bad. Another thing is when you go into the iMessage, you will find, and look bottom, there is a new, see the change where the apps appear in the iMessage at the bottom of the screen, so they're actually lined up next to each other. And if I want to just tap, make them come up, I just tap a screen, but I can also get all through this divided for the iMessage. For one, I just go to your and App Store. If I want to just go to music, I can go to the music, start playing something from here. So it's not too bad, it's just some minor adjustments here to the icon messages. A little bit more efficient to get the apps, of course. New thing is App Store they have actually redesigned the App Store. So if you go shopping over here, launch, so you'll actually see a brand new interface. First, the foremost, you get a today screen that gives you update for the day, maybe shows you the application of the day and good stuff like that. At the bottom though, you'll see a bunch of tabs. You have games tabs. Now it also gives you a note, gives you the list of newer games, which popular games and all the good stuffs right over here. If you want to go to the app, you can tap on it, go to the app there, and all these things updates. So that from your iPhone also searches the app, which you can see on the interface for the App Store has also changed, probably for the better. And of course there is plenty of other things which have been redesigned, but these are some of the things which are highlighted for iOS 11, that the control center, new today stuff and good stuffs. Obviously you have a setting called do not disturb setting, which when you enable, don't get notification, that blocks you out from notification. Maybe you're working, maybe you're sleeping, or you don't want to get notified, so you turn on the do not disturb mode. What they did was they added a new do not disturb while driving mode, which actually is going to automatically detect when you're driving a car, and it's going to ask you to activate the new do not disturb mode, which is going to happen is as you're driving or when you're not or if you don't want to get any notification. The idea behind is the safety, so you have not into the messages and updates on your Facebook and stuff like that for the future response. So the things you're driving could cause an accident, but this with the new mode do not disturb, but in driving mode there's an able to prevent these crazy accidents. Of course, if you don't want, you don't want have to use the option, just keep on going. This feature hopefully makes a use for you. So next, the map applications where you go is actually lean defined, as you're not going to see. So I'm just in the JFK airport international, but you can see they added much more details to the airport itself, so you can actually zoom it onto the airport and see individual stores, and you know where the exit locations and stuff like that. For example, it says, for example, you can see the terminal 4 right there. Okay, so this is the same thing applies for some of the major airports and major shopping malls. So if you actually go and search for a shopping mall on iOS 11, it's going to give you a detailed representation of the mall with the location and even the level of every store. So it's going to tell you that the store on the first floor or the second floor, and it's right here when you just tap on the map, zoom out, so it can be quite a detailed map of the actual airport. Okay, so these are some of the highlights, guys. So make sure you subscribe my channel, like it, and stay tuned for some more good videos.